Hi everyone, my name is Gitana. I am the founder and creator of yummysourdough.com blog and YouTube channel. So if you are my current subscriber, thank you, or you came across this video just on YouTube somewhere, I just want to let you know that yes, this is not clickbait. I have some sad news about my original sourdough starter, and I've lost it. I no longer have it, and now I have my new sourdough starter, which I will have a little chat about as well. So, yes, I've lost my sourdough starter. I've created this sourdough starter in November 2023. Was my first sourdough starter that I've actually managed to create, and it survived. So, and I always thought, oh, this is going to be a sourdough starter I will pass on to my daughter, and maybe she'll pass on to her daughters, and so it's kind of one of the things that you hear people carry on sharing their sourdough starter for generations. All my blog posts up to May 2025, they would have had that sourdough starter as an ingredient. So many recipes I've tried, it was with that sourdough starter. It was great sourdough starter. I came up with kind of my own method that worked for me, and I actually made a YouTube video which has over 10,000 subscribers, 10,000 views, which is great for a small channel like this. So what happens? In February 2025, I've started sowing seeds, and all my attention went into growing seedlings, vegetables, flowers, and as you know, if you are a gardener, that when you work with soil, a lot of times hands are not very clean. So I didn't have a time, like I said, all my attention was onto seedlings, and I just kind of lost it, that little bit of an interest, and I did not bake bread because I was not baking. I was not feeding my sourdough starter very often. The first few times I've noticed I fed my sourdough starter, it had brown liquid on the top, which is called hooch, which is fine. It's just a sign that your sourdough starter is a little bit hungry and you need to feed it again. I've noticed that almost after a week not being fed, I fed it and it was fine. It worked. But then, after a few times, that's a human nature. You notice something works, and you think, okay, that's just will be fine. And I've done that a few times. It kind of worked, and then I've noticed that it was no longer working. I would feed a lot of flour by keeping just a little bit of sourdough starter, and just trying to be very generous with the flour and water. But it just never felt the same. Then I noticed one time was like a black or dark patch of kind of a flower, and part of me thought, oh, maybe this is a mold. It didn't look like a mold, but I was worried of making bread. So by then I realized that I've neglected my sourdough starter to the point where I could see some activity, but it was not much. And I knew that it was not how it used to be. So then I've created my new sourdough starter. And the new starter seemed to work. And then I've got rid of my old sourdough starter. I just didn't think the old starter would have carried on working, and I wanted to go back into sourdough baking after a little break. Now, the new sourdough starter, which again, I've used my method, just mix flour and water and keep it really warm somewhere like on the top of your kettle. If you're cooking near a warm hob, not to let burn where the dough would actually start baking or where it's too warm, but just quite warm. So basically on day 2, sourdough starter had great signs of activity, and on day 3 I started baking again, which is fine. And this is my new sourdough starter, which you can see has some beautiful bubbles because I fed maybe about an hour ago now. Because I'm making a few new recipes for my starter, and one of them is I'm probably not pronouncing well, but it's sourdough color. It's got beautiful sourdough. So it's got eggs and loads of sugar in it, so it's very enriched sourdough. And then I am making also whole wheat dinner rolls, which actually including egg, because I saw the recipe with the egg, but we'll see how it goes. And I sometimes make a recipe, and if it works, straight away. But it will be at the end of this week, which is end of May, on my blog, yummysourdough.com. So these are 2 recipes. It was working really beautiful. So the whole experience taught me few things. As I said, it was sad that I lost it. I felt like over a year of maintaining that sourdough starter is just gone, disappeared. But the positives are my methods worked again and again. So that is a positive thing. And the second thing that I've learned is that, or the second positive is that I realized that sourdough starter does require continuous care. It's like your pet. You feed your pet every day. So you should do the same with a sourdough starter. Now, another thing that I've noticed recently, and the reason why I'm going to mention this is because it's partially affected my new sourdough starter. I've been a bit cheap and stingy, and I have been buying a strong white bread flour from UK supermarkets. One supermarket had extremely cheap or good offer bread flour, which I used it and I never had issues. This year, however, and I think that was partially to do with me not able to revive maybe my old original sourdough starter, I've noticed the flour didn't really work that well. I had a suspicion, but I thought, why would that change? Then when I made my new sourdough starter, I've noticed I would feed it, but the sourdough starter would not go up much in volume. See few bubbles, which is great, but it wasn't that much. And the bubbles were not kind of big, bubbly, or loads of them. It's just very, very rare ones. And after quite a few hours, at least 4 hours or overnight, you should see loads of activity in your sourdough starter. Like right now. But that was not happening. So then I thought to myself, the flour might be an issue. So there's a company called Dough Farm that usually they sell like a rye flour, all sorts of kind of ancient grains flours. And I bought quite a few of the flours just to make recipes. And I bought a huge sack of rye flour, which I was very happy about. And then I thought to myself, why don't I just go and buy a huge sack of the white strong bread flour, which I also did. And after the first feed, which was a few days ago on Sunday when I received my order, straight away I've noticed a huge difference in my sourdough starter. It was just bubbly, the volume gone up quite a lot. This is something I used to see last year with my starter, but not this year. So then I realized I don't know why the quality of flour changed, but it has. And also, I wish I could show you, but the flour quality, the one I've got now, the first thing I've noticed when I opened the bag of flour, I've noticed it was very like kind of creamy looking flour. It's not white, and you can see a tiny bit of grains. It smells lovely as well. So I've noticed it wasn't entirely white, but just kind of a creamy color. And then I realized that maybe they bleach the strong white bread flour in supermarkets too much. I mean, the quality of a big sack is probably the same if you buy smallest packs of flour in the supermarkets, but I'm so happy I've done that. The flour quality does matter to sourdough starter and the doughs and the breads and everything you make. So my dog started growling in the background. So yes, take care of your sourdough starter. Make sure you got a good quality flour. Now, so yes, make sure you have. Sorry, my dogs were growling. So a few things that I've learned the hard way is take care of your sourdough starter and make sure that you have a good quality flour. Sadly, cheap flour will give you cheap results. So haven't created a YouTube video for a while, and now that I am creating, I want to go back into creation of YouTube. I'm back on work on my blog. If there's any particular subjects in sourdough that maybe you would like me to talk about, I'm more than happy to look into it and create a video for you guys. But otherwise, the video should come out every 2 weeks. I think that's a very manageable schedule for myself. I am struggling with consistency. But yes, that's it for this video today. I will be working really hard on creating a sourdough course. So if you have any ideas, or maybe you've taken sourdough course but have not been happy about it, I would love to hear from you. So maybe we can create something together. But thank you for watching. Visit my blog, yummysourdough.com, and I would like to share with you loads and loads of delicious sourdough recipes. Thank you. Until next.